Welcome back to the pond build. In the previous episode, we found that the pond actually had a pretty bad leak in it, and so we drained the pond and layered the entire bottom with a clay blanket. Soon after we got a little rain, it didn't fill up the pond, but it did fill up with enough water to let us know we did in fact fix the leak, which is good news. But here's the other good news. In just a few days, we're actually going to get a ton of rain, which means the pond is going to be filling up by the end of this episode. But between now and then, we have to put the rocks back in the bottom of the pond and even build some homemade structure. So without further ado, let's get started. Our first objective pertains to the standing trees you'll see out in the left side of the pond. Now, when the pond was first built, I loved these trees because I knew it was going to be so fun to fish in the future. However, after taking a look and thinking about it a little bit, they were actually going to be kind of a safety hazard because as soon as the water filled up above the trees, they were going to drown and they were going to die, leaving dead standing trees just standing in the pond. And if someone was out fishing on a windy day, well, that could turn out pretty bad. So we decided to go ahead and cut off the trees right above water level. That way we wouldn't have any risk in the future. And there we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a half trees that are going to be sticking up in the pond and that we can fish. Next, it was time to figure out what were we going to do with all the rocks we got whenever we dug up the pond. See, originally we put them into rock piles, which is going to be perfect for the fish. However, in order to fix the pond bottom, we had to scoop them all up and take them back out of the pond. This is when I hopped on my computer and started working on a digital mock-up as to where the rocks could possibly be positioned in relation to the water level. What I wanted was for the fishermen to know exactly where all the rocks were, but still give plenty of benefit for the fish throughout all depths of the water. And this is when I came up with rock lines. Current progress of the pond. We're starting to get these rocks in lines, which should be really good for the fishing. One more rock, and then we're gonna have to save the rock pier for tomorrow because it's getting kind of late, and I'm getting kind of hungry. Probably gonna get some KFC. How long do you think it's gonna take to build the pier? Half a day? Quarter of a day?
Yeah, about 3 hours.
Alright guys, well, as you can see, an hour later it's raining, and let me tell you what that means for the pond. So long story short, whenever you're dealing with dirt, rain is like your biggest enemy. So literally as soon as the rain started and started getting heavy, we had to quit. We didn't really have any options. Luckily, we was able to get about 95% of the rock pier finished. So basically, I think it's supposed to rain for the next 7, 8 hours straight, which is going to be interesting. But as soon as it does stop raining, we're heading back down to the pond. I don't know, guys. That's a decent little bit of rain. I wonder, is this going to fill it up at all? Or is it just going to get the ground wet? I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. Shoo! Something like that. It is the next day. Let's check out that progress. As for last night, I don't know, dude. It just like never stopped raining. Shoo! Walking up to the pond, here's what we looking at, boys. By golly. We got a lot of water just from that. Ain't nothing to complain about, I know that. That's like actually a lot of water. I bet those big creek chubs or whatever's in there, them big frogs and stuff, I bet they're pretty happy now because they just got a whole lot more water than they did yesterday. Well, buddy, look at that. There's been a turkey walking through here this morning. As for the rock pier, there it is. We had to shave it down. It was honestly like way up here, but that was just way too high for the water level. So as you can see, we had to flatten it out, really pack it down. You may be asking, all right, cool. Trees? Check. Rocks? Check. Pier? Check. What's next? So next, we got to come in here. We're going to grab a lot of that dirt and actually put it right here so that gets deeper and this gets shallower, giving the fish a much wider and bigger spot that's shallow that they can actually use to spawn. We're back out here at the pond. This is the current state of the pond. Honestly, it's got a good little bit of water in it. Now, what's really awesome about the water level right here, right now, is that it's even starting to seep up in the rocks at their lowest point. You can just imagine how big fish, bait fish, minnows, bluegill, all kinds of stuff are going to be relating to those rocks. But one thing I do notice is that even though we got a lot of rocks in here, and we got some pretty awesome standing trees, I don't feel like we have enough cover. And even what we're going to be doing in this episode is building some homemade fish attractors. Those are which are going to be perfect cover. But as for now, guys, me and Abram are going to head down to the store, buy some of the materials that we need, and then we'll meet you guys back at the house, and we're just going to get right in there and start building that fish habitat. All right, guys, we're back from the store. Here's what we have. We have these black buckets, which we did not buy, but it doesn't really matter if you buy them or not. It's cheaper if you don't. You can steal them or something. Then we got this right here. It's actually 3/4 inch black tubing. It's stiff enough to where it's going to keep that round shape. And then right over here, we actually have gravels, which we're going to use as well. So like I mentioned earlier, this right here is what we're going to be trying to build. And so what that consists of is we'll drill, I ain't sure how many holes yet per bucket, but a lot. But we'll start off with this right here. Just like that. Cuts it really easy. Then we're going to get a Sawzall. And we just stick that in the hole, just like that. And then from here, once we got like, I don't know, 40 or 50 or something around it, we're gonna take us a good gallon of gravel or something, throw in there. Now that I told you what we're doing, time to actually do it. Hey, Abram did something. Show us what you built right here.
Well, I saw that we only had 21 like of these pipes left.
Yeah.
And this one has like probably 50 at least. But what I was thinking was what you really need is more volume, more of a 3D space.
Okay. So
like
what'd you do here?
More like a cage. Kendall originally said we should put it all on one side because we don't have very many. And I was like, yeah, we could do that, but then tip it over like this, have them spread out like a fan, and all kind of like make like a dome.
Yeah, I think that's honestly the coolest design. Now I guess let's take them to the pond. Put them in.
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it. There he is! There he is! We spotted him!
That's crazy.
Whoa.
Good eye.
That is the first time we spotted the bear in person, or a bear, like one of 6. My gosh, I feel like I'm in a national park now. They're everywhere. Is that the first bear you've ever seen in the wild?
No.
Oh, no? Look at his tracks right here. Oh my gosh. That's a big bear. That's not Rambo. He's way bigger than Rambo. Rambo's not that big. Dude, that was crazy.
Gone.
That's awesome. Now we gotta name that one. Guys, drop another name. Once again, just like Rambo, shout out whoever has the best name. As for where did we want to put the cover, I wanted to put it a little bit everywhere just so that fish could relate to it no matter what time of the year it was. Some of it up shallow, some of it out deep, and a little bit of everything in between. But getting away from cover, let's talk about the spawning flats. My dad's actually over there digging out one of the spots that was supposed to be a spawning flat, but was actually a little too shallow. So right now he's just digging it out, and in the process, he's gonna take that dirt, scoot it on out to some deeper water, and actually extend the spawning flat. For now, here we go. Let's watch him build the rest of this spawning flat. As of right now, you can take a look. This is the water level. Honestly, guys, it's getting up there pretty high. And there's a reason for that. Last night, we actually had a really big rain. And if you look on the other part of the pond closely, you'll see that even though we still have blue skies already, we still have quite a bit of water running in. That's thanks to like the 150 acres that actually drains into this pond, which is why after one big rain, this pond could fill up quite a bit. And as for that rain, I actually had a KG trail camera set up on time-lapse mode so that we can go back right now, review the footage, and watch the rain come down and watch the water levels go up. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll be honest, guys, I didn't really expect the water level to rise that much from one night of rain, but I guess it was just, I don't know, a lot of rain. So not mad about that. That's one step closer to actually having the pond complete. And one exciting thing is once the water does fill up and we check the pH and some other measurements and stuff to see how the quality of the water is, after that, the next step is stocking the first wave of fish. But as for now, in the pond update, we're waiting on one more thing, and that's just a whole lot more rain. And whenever the water level rises on up, we'll go down and check that leak one more time, and then we'll start testing the water quality. Because we can't forget, we really can't check the leak until all the pond is filled up. Here we go. All right, guys, here with the pond update. We just had a pretty big rain last night. However, it was not really the big rain we was looking for to finish filling up the pond. As you can see, the pond is about 3/4 the way full. And now we're just waiting on our last big rain to come on and fill the rest up. What'd you say, Mammy?
I said it's supposed to come another good rain this evening.
Yeah, it's supposed to come rain for the next few days, ain't it?
Yeah.
Subscribe if you're not already, because this pond build has been epic, and as soon as the water fills up to full capacity, it's time to be putting in the fish. Click on some of these videos if you're not up to speed with the pond videos, or this one over here for if you want to see a bear hunt, or this one over here for an epic river fishing adventure.